Hi, I'm Bob Trask. This is our weekly reset, and I'm hoping that you can find in your heart to make some changes today that'll make your life so much better, so much more exciting. Let me start by saying that this universe that we're in is made up of energy, of consciousness. It's called consciousness. I mean, it's the only creator there is, consciousness. Consciousness is that beautiful, powerful intelligence that is in all places at all times. It's the creative power. It actually is in creation as we speak. It's creating your body at this moment. Your body wasn't created, it's being created at this moment. And mine is being created at this moment. And the trees and the walls around you are all being created at this moment. Everything is in creation because this whole universe is in flux. It's moving, it's motioning back and forth, and it's all changing, evolving. And consciousness is constantly advancing in intelligence and wisdom, in grace and in joy. And today we're going to talk about how to get in line with that. How to get in line with that so that that powerful energy of the universe, of all universes, is flowing through you. Now, wherever you are, sitting down, standing up, walking, listening, and however you're listening, do you feel an energy in your body? Can you feel sort of a vibration in your body? And maybe an emotional energy in your body. And that emotional energy, that vibration, what is it really? What would you call it? See, here's the thing is that it vacillates. I mean, the energy's always there, but how we address it vacillates. You might today say, well, it feels good, I like it, and then something happens that you don't like, or somebody insulted you, or somebody dissed you, and then all of a sudden that energy becomes a bad energy. And then somebody that you don't remember calls you on the phone and tells you that they just really appreciate who you are, and then it's a good energy. And it goes back and forth of good and bad and good and bad. But the truth of it is that energy is stable. The only thing that changes is our attitude about it. Now I'm talking about the energy in your body, because that energy in your body is really who you are. But when your body dies and goes to sleep and you lose your body, that you're still going to be there. This is the you. This is the you. You're still going to be there. This is who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you, your body. I'm talking about you, the spiritual, eternal being that you have always been and always will be. And right now you're in this life in order to grow in wisdom and in joy. Now I said joy because what I'd like to ask is, do you dare be joyful? Do you dare? Because it's going to take some work. I was talking earlier today about a hunting accident that I was in on my 15th birthday, and my best friend, my brother, my blood brother, my life companion, my closest my skin to me, died in that hunting accident. And for years and years and years, I grieved and I felt terrible guilt and shame. Oh, it just went on and on and on. And there was no joy in my life. There was grief and there was self-blame and there was self-recriminations, and it just went on and on and on and on. And then one day, many years later, in fact, only about 15 years ago, I was sitting on the edge of my bed with my head in my hands, feeling that grief. And I said aloud to my brother, Gary, what am I going to do? And I heard as clear as a bell his voice say, "Stop feeling sorry for yourself and get on with it." I never considered that I was feeling sorry for myself. Never occurred to me that I was feeling sorry for myself. I was feeling regret or guilt or grief over his death, but I never thought I was feeling sorry for myself. But when I looked at it then, honestly, I was feeling sorry for myself. Poor me. Poor me who has to carry this burden through life. And I'm just kind of gently encouraging you to stop feeling sorry for yourself and get on with it. Because that joy that I'm talking about is the energy of the universe. But we give it a name, joy. I mean, that's just a name. You could call it Frank. Doesn't make any difference what you call it. It just is what it is. But it's positive. It's constructive. It's the creative energy of the universe. And what is it doing? It's creating gorgeous trees and forests. It's creating meadows of grass. It's creating great rocky mountains that reach the clouds. It's creating great blue whales that breach out of the southern oceans and fall back. The largest creatures on Earth, the largest creatures that have ever lived, the blue whale. Incredible, beautiful animals with a great brain and great heart and great wisdom, and the fish of the sea that all move in schools, and those schools all have a constant shared wisdom. And all of the birds. Have you ever noticed when you drive down the highway that if there'll be maybe a power line going across the highway and there'll be a bird sitting on that? No, you'll be very seldom to be a bird sitting on there. 30 birds sitting on there is not uncommon. How come they all sit on there? Because they all want to be together. Because that's how they feel joy. We feel joy in togetherness. But how do we share togetherness? Do we share togetherness with joy? Or do we share it with blah, 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 nonsense talk or recriminations or mutually feeling sorry for ourselves about our lousy government or the pandemic or what? But the joy that's creating the marvels of this universe is also creating you. And right now, you are that joy. You are that consciousness. You are that creative impulse of the universe. And if you know that, then what joy becomes is not happiness. Happiness is the result of something. Things went well, therefore I'm happy. But joy is not about happiness. Like you can be joyful and be happy. It's easier to be happy when you're joyful, but you're not always happy when you're joyful. You can lose a best friend or a spouse or a loved one and be grieving and still be in joy, because joy is energy. It's the energy of the universe. But when you put a darkness on it and you start feeling sorry for yourself and, oh my God, things didn't work out. Oh my God, this is awful. Oh my God. Then what happens is that joy, it's still the energy, it's still there, but it transfers then into a darkness. So if we want to be stronger physically, mentally, and emotionally, then joy builds resilience in all those areas, one joyful moment at a time. You know that joy is a set of measurable brain states. Measurable brain states. Joy, measurable brain states, and body responses, measurable, that build resilience, strengthen connections, neural connections, and improve your health. And there's research has shown that joy operates in the brain, and practical steps you can use to boost that brain and to boost joy in your brain makes life worthwhile. Maya Angelou said, "We need joy as we need air." We need love as we need water. We need each other as we need the earth we share. But listen, in needing you, in needing each other, I don't need your darkness. I'm working always to keep my joy alive in me, to keep that platform of consciousness alive in me. And if you come into my sphere and you're bitter and dark and things are not working out for you, and that's what I get from you, boy, I'm telling you, that doesn't work for me. We need love as we need water, and we need each other as we need the earth we share, and we need each other as each other, the truth of each other, that great energy, that great creative, powerful consciousness that is joy. Here's what joy looks like in the brain. Dopamine, the feel-good hormone. It's released into the system. It reduces inflammation. It boosts the immune system. And it motivates the brain to promote healing and energies and addictions. Studies show that even small, infrequent moments of joy create stronger social bonds, better coping skills, lower stress levels, improved mental health. Being, doing, and having, that's how we live our lives, isn't it? Like, I mean, for me, and I know for you, I'm being, and then I'm doing, and then I'm having. Those are the three areas of life. I mean, if we're successful in being, doing, and having, we're successful in life. That's what life is, being, doing, and having. But those are fueled. That's the energy has to come in to my being to let me be who I am. Be Bob Trask. Don't be weak. Don't be somebody else. Be who you are. Get your platform, your foundation in order, and be that. And then do what you need to do out of that being. And then have the results of that and enjoy the results of that and accept the results of that. But all of that has to be fueled by something. And that something is the energy of our lives. It's the energy of nature. We're surrounded by it. It's an energy that lives inside of us and around us and is present 24 hours a day. And you're feeling it right now. You're feeling it. But until you name that energy, it has no name. Until you name it, it's just energy. And a tree doesn't name it, and a tree just grows beautifully. And oh my gosh, and flowers don't name it, and they just grow so beautifully. And that great blue whale, it doesn't name it, and it just grows so beautifully. But we name it. And so when we name it, if we name it in darkness, we name that energy in bitterness, then it takes away from us. It takes away from us. The question is, will we use that energy to accomplish or to avoid? Because it's creation. And how you know that you're in joy is, please hear this, how you know that you're in joy is if you're creating joy around you. Are you creating? Are you creating? This morning, the family made cinnamon rolls from scratch, started yesterday, and we had those for breakfast. Whew, boy, those were just incredible. That was a creation. It was a creation of joy and a creation of love. Are you creating? Are you smiling at people? Are you giving your joy away? And those things that you have accomplished in your life, in spite of the tribulations, in spite of the dark times, you've created beautiful things, beautiful things. If I ask you, if I gave you a piece of paper and a pencil and said over the next 24 hours, don't do anything but just eat your meals, go get your sleep, but I want you to spend all of your waking hours just writing down what you've accomplished. You'd say, well, that wouldn't take me long. I'd probably, got about 10 or 15 things and I'd get it on a piece of paper. You started thinking about it, you would have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things that you've accomplished. Hundreds of things that you've accomplished. We have a gorgeous Christmas tree in our living room, oh man, it's such a beautiful tree. And when I look at that tree, that Christmas tree, and all of the lights and all of the bangles and bells and bulbs on that tree, and I just sit and look at that and I say, each one of those represents one of the good things in my life that have happened to me in my life, that I've accomplished in my life. And after having looked at that tree many, many times, I realized that that tree would have to grow a lot bigger in order to hold all the things that I've done, all the things that I've accomplished. But you know what? We don't look back on those things that we've accomplished. We look back on those places we screwed up. We look back on our mistakes. We look back on our divorces and our heartaches and our foreclosures and our bankruptcies and our sicknesses and our illnesses and maybe the damage that we did to other people. Those are what we look at, and that's all negative, and that becomes part of our platform. We can't, if we carry that forward, then we keep creating those same things because that's our creative energy. But if we look at all of what we've done, if we look at the beauty of life and what we've done with it, then we begin to create from that platform. You can call it joy. I don't know, you can call it frank. I don't care what you call it, that energy. But it's a beautiful energy, so beautiful, so powerful. And it lives inside of you as you. And if you acknowledge that you are a champion of challenges, let that awareness increase your self-confidence, then you can't help but be in joy. You can't help but be in that creative flow. And you need self-confidence because without self-confidence, there simply is no joy. Without self-confidence, because self-confidence is that self-knowledge that you got when you looked at the tree and went back and looked at all of the things you've accomplished. And you said, oh my gosh, take a piece of paper and do that test. Write down everything good that you've ever done and accomplished in your life. Write it down. Spend 24 hours. Get that down on paper and you'll be blown away by who you are. And let that become your identity. That self-confidence brings about a level of joy, which makes your body strong and resilient to illness and gives you the confidence to face life's challenges with a confident smile. So let's remember to celebrate ourselves for who we are and what we do that's our foundation of joy. And then joy becomes our power. It's the power of the universe flowing into me, into you. And then from that joy, we can create what we want to create. Famous author Alan Cohen said, joy is not the result of getting what you want. It's the way to get what you want. In the deepest sense, he said, joy is what you want. Now, here's another step in expanding healing joy in our lives. A joyful moment alone registers as a delightful 8. When I have a joyful moment, that's an 8. God. But when I share that moment, it becomes a 10. When I share that joyful moment, it becomes a 10. How do I do that? Saying to somebody, wow, you sure look nice today. I'm so glad you're in my life. Or saying to somebody, hi, how are you doing today? I mean, I went into the drugstore yesterday and there was a line in front of me and the woman that was behind the counter was just taking care of people. Thank you very much. Okay. And next, thank you very much. Okay. And I thought I'm going to zap her. So when I stepped, she looked at me, she, can I help you? And I said, hi, how are you doing today? She looked at me for a minute. She said, I'm doing okay. And I said, good. I am too. God, it's just a great season. And it's so nice to be able to see you here today and to be able to be with you today. Anyway, here's my prescription that I need. When I left, she went about doing her work with me. When I left, she said, "Thank you for coming in. I hope you have a great day." And she smiled, and I knew that she had changed. Something had changed. I had shared my joy with her, and I walked out of that store smiling. I felt great. Those are the moments that cement our relationships on higher and higher levels. I was conducting a wilderness expedition on an island, and we were all doing a 1 hour meditation. We were sitting in a group doing a meditation, and I suddenly got this incredible courage, this impulse within me to go into the water. And I couldn't stop it. So I got up quietly, crept away, got my mask fins and snorkel, and went out, put them on, and went into the water and swam out. And I went out about the length of a football field and looked down, and there was a school of fish underneath me, and they were just swimming. But it was like they were listening to music that was like a ballet. They were just dancing together. I was just tranquilized by that, but it wasn't enough. I had to share it with somebody. So I went back to shore. I ran up to where they were all sitting, and I got a little pebble and flicked it at my friend Chris. And he opened his eyes, and I said, "Come with me." And so I said, "Put on your mask, fins, and circle, and come on." And I took him out, and he and I just hung over the water and just watched that ballet. Oh, you know what? That many, many years ago, and it's still as fresh in my mind today as it was then. You never forget your moments of joy. The real moments of joy. So you've had those moments too, haven't you? And you can bring them to mind and maybe share them with others and intoxicate them with your joy. Because joy shared is joy increased. And the more that we increase it, the more we're a part of the solution to the world's unrest. May I say that again? Joy shared is joy increased. And the more we increase it, the more we're a part of the solution to the world's unrest. So let's get that joy going. It's a skill. Let's practice that skill. It's one we have to develop, like any skill. We have to practice it until we get better at it. Renaming that, but taking that energy that's flowing into you and not letting it go anywhere except into building a platform of confidence. This is who I am. This is who I am. I will not be shaken out of this. This is who I am. I am a powerful creator of goodness in the world. That's who I am. I'm a creator of goodness in the world. I'm not here to take, I'm here to give. And if I get off balance, I'm going to go sit down and read out of my book, or I'm going to go look at flowers, or I'm going to get myself back together. Because my job here is to give joy. Dutch theologian Onre Noen said, "Joy does not simply happen to us. We have to choose joy and keep choosing it every day." And yet, I know, and I hope you know, that we live in a paradise. And we really do live in a paradise. And I know I spent many, many years of my life in despair. So I truly understand when people are in despair and they can't see the joy or can't see the paradise. But that great energy that's inside of me, that's inside of you, is there for a purpose. And the purpose is for us to create the lives that will fulfill us. The purpose of that energy is for us to create lives that will fulfill us, that will fulfill our dreams. And we can't get from despair or hopelessness or even mildly dissatisfied lives without infusions of joy. And joy is not happiness. Happiness is the result of something happening. Joy is a state of mind. It's a state of being. It's a personality. It's your personality. So let's think of joy as an injection we have to take every day to make us well, to strengthen us, to fill us with appreciation and well-being. And those parts of your life you don't like, but which seem to be lingering on, the first step is taking charge of your life by accepting joy, the joy that's rightfully yours. There's a great actress. Maybe some people say she was the greatest actress that ever lived. I don't know. I never saw her act, but I've read about her. Her name was Eleonora Duse. And she said, if the sight of let me say that again. If the sight of the blue skies fills you with joy, if a blade of grass springing up in the fields has power to move you, if the simple things of nature have a message that you understand, rejoice, for your soul is alive. Now, she was busy. She was an actress. She was really busy. But obviously, the power of her acting came from the platform of who she was, which she just described to us. If the sight of blue skies fills you with joy, if a blade of grass springing up in the fields has the power to move you, if the simple things of nature have a message that you understand, rejoice, for your soul is alive. So let's set an intention to notice and expand joyful moments every day. Let's start by finding one uplifting experience and seeing if we can expand it. And let's slow down. Let's focus on each moment, like your morning coffee or your walk. And let's build gratitude by paying attention to the good. Oh, there's so much good. And you don't have to pay attention to the bad. It's going to take care of itself without your help. The bad doesn't need you to help it. Surround yourself with uplifting people and share joyful moments with them. And perform acts of kindness for others. No joy is greater than that. Please remember, building a life of joy is a life mission. We must practice being joyful. Then we can once again have the heart of a child, the child we once were, curious and delighted by the bouncing flight of a colored butterfly, or the taste of a strawberry, or the feeling of music. Rabindranath Tagore said, joy is everywhere. It's in the earth's green covering of grass, and the blue serenity of the sky, and the reckless exuberance of spring, and the severe abstinence of gray winter, in the living flesh that animates your bodily frame, in the perfect poise of the human figure, noble and upright, in living, in the exercise of all our powers, in the acquisition of knowledge. Joy is there everywhere. And finally today, I want to quote the poet W.H. Auden. I think you're going to like this. Auden said, in times of joy, all of us wished we possessed a tail we could wag. And right now, I would like to have a tail I could wag. Thank you for being with me. Thank you. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate you being with me today. Please go with my love, and I'll see you next week.